Good afternoon, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. Thank you so much for joining us on this 10-minute live stream update. And I'm going to need all 10 minutes because we've got a lot of active heat alerts out there across the state. 2 of them right now. An excessive heat warning. This is mainly for portions of West Texas and Central Texas, and a heat advisory that actually extends into a part of our viewing area. The extreme heat warning mainly deals with a dry heat. So from Austin down to San Antonio, Kerrville, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, actual air temperatures could climb all the way up to 111 degrees. This warning is up until 9 o'clock tonight. Temperatures are not going to cool all that much during the overnight hours, so hopefully everybody's AC is working properly. And we're going to do it again tomorrow. It's another hot day. Today here in Houston, your high temperatures, actual air temperatures, I should say, are going to be in the mid to upper 90s. We'll talk about why it's going to feel hotter than that, though. 96 degrees in the Heights, Montrose, and Bel Air. If you're in Hunters Creek, look for a high of 97, even hotter. If you live in Aldine, 99, so you're flirting with the century mark there. Jersey Village, it's close to it as well, 98 degrees. Channelview, 97. It's hot, it's hazy, and humid. It's Houston. I'm going to keep saying that. That triple digit, I should say, feel is something that Houston is just known for. 92 for League City, and it's a little bit better if you go to the island. However, that's where all the humidity is coming from, so I don't know if it'll be that enjoyable anyhow. Notice the wind forecast for today has kicked up a notch. So sustained wind is going to be around 15 miles an hour, but those gusts are strong at around 30 for a good chunk of the afternoon. I'd say mainly between 3 o'clock to 8. And so you're going to feel the breeze out there in more ways than one. First of all, yes, it will be whipping some wind, but the breeze is also going to be kind of smacking in the face with a lot of humidity, and it's definitely going to increase the heat index for us. That's why we've got a heat advisory. Notice this is for Grimes and Washington counties today. Could this get extended? We will be monitoring that. But for the time being, those 2 areas are flagged because they could get all the way up to 107 degrees for what it feels like. That advisory is up from now until 7 o'clock. Current temperatures right now across the state look really similar to yesterday. And yesterday was a record-breaking day. So this is a good indicator as to what we can expect later on this afternoon. Right now it's 94 in Midland. That's the hottest spot in the Lone Star State. San Antonio is holding on to 85, 86. In Austin, Victoria is already at 90 degrees. Us here in Houston, we're at 89, and that's exactly where we were yesterday. Notice those dew points are in the mid-60s, so what does it feel like on your skin? Feels like 91 degrees. There is no temperature change between today and yesterday, and guess what? We did break that record yesterday. I'll have a look at that official recording at Bush Intercontinental Airport here in a second. But something else you might notice outside is that it's a little bit hazy. We do have some smoke that's tracking in from Mexico. So these are seasonal burns that go on, and because we've got that Gulf breeze, the southerly wind, it does spill over into southeast Texas. What does this mean for us? Well, we're going to have a hazy sky, maybe not as pretty of a day as we had yesterday. This could also mean that maybe, just maybe, our high temperatures are going to be a degree or 2 below what was expected, and that's just because the smoke particles reflect some of that solar radiation. So it's not going to make a big difference, though, and maybe just a degree or 2. I think we're still going to break records easily. The good news is, though, a lot of those smoke particles are suspended aloft. So if you were curious as to if the haze is impacting your air quality, it's not. So you're still in the moderate range, and that's good. Let's talk about the heat and the records. Okay, yesterday we made it up to 95 degrees. The record to tie was 94. Yes, we beat it, and that was a really old record. Set back in 1907, 118 years old. So this is definitely historic heat, and we're going to continue to see that throughout the next few days. Here's a look at the high temperatures expected in Houston for today, 96. The record is 93. That's why I think we're going to shadow that one, no problem. For your Thursday, same thing, 97 is the forecast, 94 is the old record. And then I think we are going to do it again on Friday. So just expect the next 3 days to be abnormally hot and record breaking at that. High temperatures across the state. So we talked about our high temperature getting up to 96 degrees. Working our way down the 35 corridor, Austin looking to make it into the triple digits for actual air temperatures. San Antonio's high 104. In case you have family members there, just remind them to stay hydrated, to skip the outdoor workouts, and just try and stay inside or take breaks in the shade, especially if you have a family member that works outside. They definitely need to listen to their body and get some rest. Try to bring down the temperature if they are spending a few hours outside. It's a good idea to go to an air-conditioned space to regulate. 111 degrees in Eagle Pass. That is why there's that extreme heat warning for the area. Let's talk about our feels like temperatures, because remember, it's not just the air temperature, but the humidity we have to consider. So when all that is said and done, it actually feels just as hot as some of those spots in the I-35 corridor. So it's going to feel like 101 degrees here in Houston today. Same thing for Conroe, for Huntsville, Bryan College Station. This is the area that is under that heat advisory because of the potential of getting up to 107 degrees for the feels like temperature. Could feel up to 103 degrees for Brenham. And again, even if we don't get to the century mark, we'll be really close to that. The feeling stays hot throughout the afternoon and for a good long stretch because of this dome of high pressure that is just parked right on the Lone Star State. Even as it starts to shift a little bit, it is the predominant feature that we see. Now next week, there is a disturbance that's going to try to dip the jet stream. Could this bring some rain? We certainly hope so, especially for West Texas and Central Texas that are under the extreme drought category. Will this be enough to bring a couple of showers to Houston? I'm not sold on that. I really think that this high pressure system is going to be a blocking pattern for us even into the coming weekend. At least for the next 5 days, I could say you're not looking at any rain here. Even this light green that you see for Friday or for Monday, that's future track models picking up on all of that humidity. Humid makes for a really warm and muggy night. So tonight's forecast, I know I had to set my thermostat back a little bit just because it does get pretty warm during the day, and so when it stays warm at night, it's not very comfortable to sleep like that. So just keep in mind that tonight's going to be just as warm. 73 for Copperfield is the overnight temperature, 73 for Hunters Creek. The Heights gets down to 73. Acres Homes, same thing there. Downtown, 73. 74 for Jersey Village, so even warmer than downtown, and Jacinto City also at 74. Notice Bush Intercontinental Airport is only going to dip down to 75. That is the coolest point during the overnight hours, and that is the same feeling coming down the Gulf Freeway, 75 for the low in League City and in Galveston. So this is a very warm stretch that we are continuing to track. Once we get these stubborn areas of high pressure, it's actually pretty difficult to nudge them out of the way. So for the time being, at least the 7-day forecast, it's looking warm. And I showed you kind of an extended outlook even into next weekend. It's still looking really warm. In terms of breaking records, have a look at each and every day. Today, it's a shoo-in, I would say. 96 for our high temperature with the last record at 93. Tomorrow, again, another day that I think records will come easy for us. And then as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you'll notice we're on the cusp there. We might see a record, we might not. Regardless, it's still going to be really warm and humid throughout your weekend plans. So try to consider that. Maybe you find a way to stay nice and cool. I know some of my favorite activities to do when it is this hot is go to the movies or perhaps go to the museum. Find an area where it's already nice and cool and you can kind of beat the heat that way. Now, you'll notice there are no rain chances here, which is also significant when we're talking about the drought. So far, Houston has been okay. We're just under that lowest moderate drought category. However, this is going to have impacts on us. So we get the brand new drought monitor released to us tomorrow. So when you come back and watch this live stream tomorrow at 12:30, I will have an updated outlook as to how we're doing with our local drought monitor and whether this hot, dry stretch is having an impact in that regard too. All right, have a great day today. Stay cool and stay hydrated.